Welcome to Solin Speaks. I'm Dan Solin, and as always, we're diving into the real-world challenges and opportunities financial advisors face. Today's topic, a brain hack that will turbocharge your AUM in 2025. I use AI technology to create these podcasts for those who prefer learning by listening. I know your time is valuable, so I keep these podcasts under 10 minutes. Joining me today is my good friend David, who'll keep me on my toes with some great questions. Let's dive in.
Dan, you mentioned a brain hack that can turbocharge AUM. Can you tell us what inspired this topic?
Absolutely, David. I recently suggested a radical change to a client about how she does business. I spent hours researching, only to have her dismiss it in seconds. That experience made me realize that I needed to approach change differently. And let's face it, convincing people to adopt new ideas is tough, whether it's a client or a prospect. But the key lies in understanding how our brains work.
Interesting. Why do people resist change so much even when it's in their best interest?
Great question, David. Our brains are wired for efficiency. Over time, we create mental highways, neural pathways formed by repeated thoughts and actions. Challenging these pathways feels like leaving a smooth highway to navigate a rocky trail. Add in cognitive dissonance, the discomfort when new information conflicts with old beliefs, and you've got a recipe for resistance.
So how can advisors overcome this resistance and guide clients toward change?
It starts with empathy and strategy. Here's a 4-step approach. 1. Start small. Propose manageable changes, like a trial period where you manage a portion of their portfolio. This minimizes risk and allows them to test the waters. 2. Appeal to emotions. Clients make decisions emotionally and justify them rationally. For example, a young father worried about his family's future will respond more to a plan that reflects his aspirations for his children than just cold, hard numbers. 3. Reinforce positively. Regular, consistent communication helps rewire those neural pathways. Share valuable insights and advice to build trust over time. 4. Encourage self-reflection. Ask open-ended questions that help clients identify gaps in their current approach. This way, you're guiding them to their own conclusions rather than confronting them directly.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you share an example of how emotional appeal can work?
Sure. Take a client named James, a young father who lost his job and worried about providing for his family. Instead of just offering a budget or investment strategy, his advisor connected with James's emotional goals, like ensuring his kids could go to college. That connection made James feel valued, and he trusted the advisor's plan. Emotional alignment like this is a game changer.
What about repetition and positive reinforcement? How does that work in practice?
Think of it like paving a new path. Each positive interaction, whether sharing a useful article, providing a market update, or tailoring advice, reinforces trust and engagement. Over time, this builds a stronger relationship and reshapes how prospects and clients view your service.
Finally, those self-reflective questions you mentioned earlier. Any tips on how advisors can use them effectively?
Absolutely. Open-ended questions like, what financial goals are most important to you? Or, what's one thing you'd like to change about your financial strategy are powerful. They make clients pause and think critically, which opens the door for meaningful conversations and solutions.
Dan, this has been incredibly insightful. Any closing thoughts for our listeners?
Thanks, David. The bottom line is that understanding the neuroscience of resistance helps advisors be more effective. It's not about bulldozing old beliefs, it's about paving a better path. With empathy, strategy, and persistence, you can turn resistance into opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. As always, you've given us a lot to think about. If you want to dig deeper into this subject, check out Dan's article posted on LinkedIn. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to Solin Speaks. Until next time.